Well, we've been coming after FIFA World Cup no and to the final between Spain and Argentina. Surprisingly, me makume mupa no think Argentina na eji. But no dey anko ba all the same no. Nyame crop for Barcelona for no etimi age trophy and 8 Barcelona players energy trophy no e be di enkomo afa ho. They have a conversation about the major transfer. Yes, Chelsea. Leão, what do you think about it as a Chelsea fan? And I feel so after the winning goal na Ferran Torres shared and no, there is a saying and as a news is circulating say maybe Barcelona form might reconsider their decision saying come on Ferran ama Paris Saint-Germain no omubeja no omekipi Ferran Torres. And after weekends Chelsea signing Morgan Rogers for 117 million pounds. 117 million pounds. You be the home come on. Now after Julián Álvarez no so you didn't home come on. So my just say the biano. Mo pe Álvarez update biano with the bebremo. The name still remains Mr. Marfo, Mr. Master from Utility Guy. Oba say making sure so be subscribing to channel. Remember more in-depth analysis of everything you want to know about football, transfer, any tactical, the BI, the memo. Mene lakom, NLRC. Lakom, see we are
we are working as well.
Bako senior. Then no, World Cup no 19 for one na.
So museum na be na be team na agenda be set am minti.
Na we do na see finfina. Eja wo hwe bi. Me de me ndu amakoma mu pa de anka mesi nyeni mi no.
Na Argentina na so yiri.
O de be. Me makoma mu dia.
Asa la mi haje.
Zanke de just ni amaye kwa.
Ana mpe. La mi haje. Se musa na mo say hand over.
The moment you can have many handing over.
Yeah, handing over.
When you send off.
Send off.
So
I can inform Messi.
Inform Messi no. Because maybe when they say this Spanish team no, on say the core of the Spanish team are young players. So definitely in 2030 more years to play they can perform. So let me feel like Argentina for no. And no message here. Me any Argentine players na can no. Argentine players na can inform me home.
Messi.
Banka message there na can proper send off. But all the same no. Very nice. And now the whole World Cup thing no happened. Finally, we've gotten the win on the Spanish side, you know.
Yeah.
How will you rate the World Cup as a whole? From organization of the World Cup, immigration, once and same, any BBA calls to be no. Quick answer out of 10.
Man, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Yes.
I don't know my World Cup ne 7. What problem is be a woman?
You see, football not just about the on-field game. Born I born no can do come. Now they come about the immigration because football is my football fans. Football is not basically for the players play because omobono be and football. So football is basically for the fans to more. So fans energy you prioritizing the most and sign about players. In the fans are proud to the World Cup. You're born of 3 nations. In see that this is the first time I 3 nations are hosted. The last time I have 2 nations are hosted, well, that's South Korea, Japan, no. 2002. And after that, nothing 3 nations hosted. So I need for be a no more this part of our continent.
Yeah.
To go and explore, or USA, or Mexico, to know different places.
Yeah.
To NFL for them, and again go and support one of their own. That is their national team. All that, but proud with a lot of things. Even some of the players in the crown, young into a certain place also Thomas Partey and all that. So I think I know better. But aside that, no, the performance I think it's worth watching because of her final match in the crown. The later part of them, and that's the extra time in the taking that dish, you know. The 3rd place and 4th place number so we check the number of goals about 10 goals being that and again the knockout stage in some my good performance seeing Cape giving out a good performance against Argentina, seeing Switzerland performance against Argentina and also Spain and a team friend France for the end. I think it's worth watching. So I think in honor the better that immigration situation and because about not giving a certain people the accreditation.
And me side to me, I think say at the back also I bet say every performance of the World Cup ne so kakra Florent Balogun. I think say a major impact in the World Cup too much because you could give now all of a sudden will be fair from outside. They say over 10 decision it was correctly decided on the pitch there.
In football there is a crop sport. Football is a cross sport, no matter the situation. Nipa na say deviance when nipa involved, be I want to nyan friend James are
corrupt.
Corrupt. Adibia nipa na involved be aside ebia because all pay at the crony, you know, and also I want personal interest. So definitely at the point in time, or who knows or yeah be behind you because of our own personal interest.
Yeah.
So definitely football there corrupt because
French
football French man it means you penalty.
Oh yeah.
Football and French so and also the negative aspect of this game na idiot you know.
Yeah.
So a ban was so because at the French man
yeah.
There also be from done a whole lot of controversies. We argue about it, make our own narrative around it, then we move on. I think they're part of it.
Yeah. Okay, you go straight forward to World Cup final. No?
Yeah, okay.
World Cup final. No, I say who no. I think say in December break or so in the World Cup final. Yeah. People are saying say yesterday was the worst Argentina game or share because you can't go full 90 minutes. Plus added time one more shot. That's the conversation.
Okay, maybe from that perspective,
yeah, that's the conversation.
Yeah.
And they were like, say, they feel like Leão Sebastian Scaloni's system or the game in the final was too rigid. As a tweak behind them. At some points, De La Fuente outclassing it tactically, you know. When to me and say BBA, what do you think about that aspect too?
You see, and now is a that finalist man I ever bona umutu share dan and then we the final. Yeah. That is the best team of South America. And then the best team of Europe and a boy that is Spain and Argentina. Proud to the game, right from that riot of knockout stage in the at a point in time you have certain things that's a negative aspect of their game. Now they can say team ready as a certain situation be a see and home Lucy. But Argentina they facing Cape Verde later part of the match, you know, and to make that comeback, you know, facing Switzerland too, a difficult game for them. Spain for them, man for can say in as much as some concede one going, you know, performance, you know, to their standard. I'm team in judge a whole lot of narrative around both teams in Iron Coco Boy. But Enra, give me chance, and some can say that whole narration about Argentina team way say it is just about their passion, you know, a misconception. Tactical they are good, they are technical too.
Yeah.
Because and I was surprised with Leão Scaloni, not in a bad way, but in a positive way. Because Spain team way, we be walk up right from a group stages. No consider one goal. A choice say a good team not against.
Yeah.
Because any fluke, no cause some share teams they get one going. Any fluke because
against the French side, come on,
because teams be so share. This smaller clubs no consider.
Yeah.
It will be smaller club no consider. It's not just about the name, any fluke. They worth it. They deserve it because of their structure. Until only team bar a whole tournament like World Cup. Or consider just one goal. So you know team now in the Baba. So you need to be careful.
Yeah.
And the narrative around the game, they say, in terms of the possession aspect of the game, they definitely is team Spain. Because only Spain by a bar, one of the strongest department
so and how contest, you know, Spain defense with the ball.
Only defend with the ball. There's no need for them to say you go ball winner debut. Ball now be defend the ball. Defending back. Yeah. It's almost in terms of controlling the game. Almost 70% of the game.
Yeah.
That is their strength. That's their strength. It will make Argentina definitely Obiara predicted say their possession there. Spain be fanya rocket science. Yeah, there down. I'm gonna say there's Spain Argentina be share possession aspect of the game, no. I'm gonna be far. But you see, I'm gonna build up. That is the thing I think say Leão Scaloni did it well. Oh, face off. See Spain air that or more progression now. I'm shall say from a cherry.
Okay.
Developing from the back. But mostly between the two channels of developing match, that's the progression or start of the game, developing from the back. Your channels, either so be far or flanks.
Yeah,
that's the fullbacks. And I say Ube operate centrally.
That's you getting the number 6 as the first line of build up.
Now Spain for number show say omo build it from the back. And for flanks, they are not dangerous as compared to their central channel.
Yeah.
And only Spain, but now we just say, oh, pretty central here.
Yeah.
Obeji better. And then our dear Leão Scaloni and say, about 4-4-2. The natural 4-4-2 down all games in the man. No, boy. But all press here. A 4-2-2-2.
Yeah.
So they be about blocking that central channel now. Spain 4% will go operating.
So it means Omania central overload in terms of pressing. So they will get closer to 5 players.
Yeah.
See, if I'm being right, when they are defending, they defend in a 4-5-1 system.
Okay, yeah.
If I'm being right, and not 5-4-1.
Yeah.
Because they want central overload.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see, on my press, I was first 2 bar, second 2 bar, third 2 bar, then the 4 back. No my press. Said the on my Spain 4 coin and move pretty centrally. Now, I did also say. So oppressor mini waja the fullback say I'm gonna Spain form also from developing the ball numbers of developing. Say ball call that flanks one ma their second phase of their 2 pressing people. That is the whole nine the McAllister and Enzo.
Yeah.
Almost a call fullbacks are not heavy metal pressing to their fullbacks. Hard on them. Almost a force Spain for to go wide.
Okay.
Two of them page ball no matter but first half no not Spain for team develop but said more pen no.
Yeah, they were not flowing.
No when you sanity because when you Spain on press on come pass but it do even a call fullbacks na Pedro Polo or Cucuera. I'm trying some page ball so because pressing it hard.
Do you think say I'm making meaning out of this? Do you think say at that point now Luis Leão needed someone under pressure a bit maneuver the ways.
And I remember honum no. That was the way of pressing Leonard Scaloni in the bar. And he has Spain for power because Spain who defend against Spain. Now so broke that central channel now they find it difficult to create chances. The only chance Spain for creating was on the 38th minute.
Yeah.
And we has a couple keeper chain and also from the central area because at time no more overloading that space between the defenders and that defensive midfielders. Like one nana either both Oyarzabal and Danny Uwonum create the chance. That was the chance it was having that high probability to score. That is the edge in also. And one. And see after I'm call first half now someone kind of say game win here Pedri. Because or that ability and that instinct to exploit the most important spaces of games in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, was how that boss to control the game. And let's throw the game down. Now pin the Argentines to their back.
Yeah.
Not to create chance centrals.
Yeah.
Because what both Spain and Barcelona, I'm creating as a would create easily.
Yeah.
Because that instinct, you know, was going down the space.
How much on for centrally? I think first leg of Barcelona Newcastle game, it how a similar thing.
Yeah,
they eliminated Barca midfielders different
physicality.
Yeah.
And see, or the Pedro Belma game necessary. Or the Pedro Belma no game is because Pedro can hold the ball.
Yeah.
He can have that instinct to exploit the needed spaces. No watch it. It's a slow game down. But I think now Argentina for find a way to cope. Argentina for no matter the situation, no more find a way to cope. Just because I'm born not more efficient and effective enough. I'm born I said okay, I'm going to create more so I'm going to create chance and all that.
But the Argentines, one reason I'm more efficient. They say, I think say before the game, Marco Correa press. That was press conference.
Yeah.
And I can say, how do you stop the Argentine national team? And I'll say, the only way we can stop the Argentine national team is to prevent them from having the ball. Now, they talk as to prevent them from having the ball. They say, we've seen Messi at age 39. Yeah. Messi, although he's born on the camera, but Messi isn't Messi at age 26, age 25. So the Argentines has to work. So Messi, then Messi will do the final decision, the final thing.
Yeah.
So the idea of the Spanish national team yesterday was that now young prevent Argentine for so omunya boni bimbo. The moment omunya boni bimbo, it means automatically Leo Messi impacts about game about form.
Yeah, because on the most dangerous.
Yes, about form. So that was one major thing and the Spanish national team not more tries or more. I don't think that in as much said the Argentines were defending very well, preventing them from operating the central zones. The Spanish national team was also the moment Argentina fall by Jabona and tell them say no my I think it's almost added in that.
Speed definitely because one said they don't have with the ball. So Omulusu born heavy metal and judging pressing. Papa near to retrieve the ball back, then we start again. That is how they play and we my predict on boy.
Yeah.
You see, Spain ball on basketball you can't predict, but don't mean stop it.
Yeah.
We my predict say game and basketball way.
See how
best project spaces way, but don't mean prevent it.
Yeah. Only idealistic.
Sanity. And again, now we can about how at a point in time De La Fuente a tricky, but Leonard Scaloni and we. That's the difference between these modernized coaches and the coaches that Leonard Scaloni finding out. And they make a difference, you know. Same thing applies to the Disham. Say it difficult how human managers on man and one. It's difficult for those kind of managers. Into no about club side of Muntimino. Because that will set up another bubble. What buy 3 matches teams in a bet show.
Oh yeah.
There was also done way involved it.
Yeah.
And don't think that the year shall be there more likely to remember the name penal. Yes, when on your good coaching.
Very good.
But don't mean coach club. Because on mean you can also.
But club side, what buy 4 games?
4 games on bet show.
Teams will figure out.
On bet show.
Yeah.
Tell us the be aware there. What done no. In general, we say match against England ball Argentina. One of the reasons why I'm because I tip England that tactical aspect of the game. I'm who Thomas Tuchel can tweak at a point in time, but Leonard Scaloni can't. But in England, you know, now far beyond the tactical aspect of the game. Argentina football number boy, almost frustrating. That is an injury. And then I may expect from them. Oh, fine.
No, it was similar thing, but the thing was,
and almost I said,
referee now Udi game, you know, against England. I've forgotten his name. Only understanding the fact to say these two teams in will pretty more physicality.
Yeah.
Into matches be like balls be bomber quite too aggressive. Be 50-50 be winning. But Slacko Vincent and Rano, Argentina for the moment Ombeko will be a hash.
Control game anyway.
At some point, now I'm Argentina for so Ombeko hashtag will sleep.
And again, aside the referee perspective and how he writes, but I think that Spain for now won't even me on
that one day.
Nobody will boot from class
that one day.
And I say, and I'm at a point and Argentina for some called that physicality aspect. But then far, me on no question that physical.
And the attitude of the Argentine players was a bit frustrating. Someone like Leonardo Paredes, he had one bem second. Oh, by referee no will. It was frustrating.
It was unnecessary. That was no open music. And I also come direct cable too.
Yeah. Enzo Fernandez ball no. Initially mentioned emotions. It was like any red card, but later I mentioned him. He deserved.
Kukuba is who rule
he deserved. Someone also used to watch. Kukuba Julián used to watch.
And no be na you expense here na name him. Must you step on your foot. A dangerous zone. Jump to form. Still not tagging.
What I was sorry tagging. No sorry, they are sorry. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know. Interesting, but maybe problem in that is how do the Argentine national team know? I'm going to make a whole full 90 minutes. No more shot. Full 120 minutes. One 2 shots. No on target. That shows how Argentine national team know how fragile they are. They were being carried by the influence of Leo Messi. So it means when Leo Messi free game, the team can't function in terms of creativity. He was the only outfield player not creative on the pitch in terms of the Argentine side.
Spain for the ball.
Spain for the ball. But Spain for the ball. But if Messi had a player and also secondary in terms of creativity, even if there was even if there was Angel Di Maria on the pitch, the situation may be a bit different.
One of the key players, this Argentina team, the 2020 World Cup.
Yeah, if there was Di Maria, the situation be a bit different.
But make it different
because Alistair on found that creativity. Enzo on found I don't know. I think they were like different players altogether.
But if not about a record, I'm going to be penalties. As a baby, too much, even if any other throughout. And I'm kicking center back super prepra.
No, but all the same though, my idea.
Going to 3 World Cup finals.
My idea. But you didn't come out for transfers in the home. Yes, Rafael Leão. Chelsea for Rafael Leão. For me, you know my stance on Rafael Leão. That Rafael Leão, that type of player, on your hard working. And you know me, say I really love hard working players. When you be a hard working, it's not linking it to Barcelona and I'm a crown maker. So. Chelsea, Javi Alonso. When you say Javi Alonso, workaholics at Leverkusen, the players are not working very hard. Rafael Leão, how does he sit into the system of Javi Alonso, even if they are able to, purchase Rafael Leão?
So, discussions are the board of directors, Blue Kufono have it behind the scenes about say Omunya Rafael Leão and one of the main reasons why I'm also going to pay Rafael Leão they don't have prolific wingers last season because among wingers was Alejandro Garnacho, Pedro Neto. One of the wingers not prolific enough Esteban Willian.
Yeah.
And also because of injuries. One year available the most for them in the season. So in the most decisive seasons now, pair the players to make the difference between them and other teams in non available.
Okay.
And here set up anyhow Blue project now. We know Chelsea right from 2004 to 2012 to that Abramovich era to be a team they defend well and rely on quick transition because money is on before 2004 after Roman Abramovich it was Jose Mourinho defensive coach Carlo Ancelotti one of those defensive coaches as I combining at a point the possession aspect kakra Di Matteo more defensive so the structure of Chelsea under Roman Abramovich was more of a defensive structure. It was Chelsea foot defended well, rely quick transition. So if say it was under Roman Abramovich, anka the Canacho, the Pedro Neto would be effective enough. But then again, under a different managerial board, they want to sell Chelsea globally, and it's always all town club globally.
Yeah,
the people for her, then the fans from here excited, the beautiful football, the possession aspect of the game.
Yeah,
that is the reason why. The Como Fono is centered around the possession. They want to sell Como globally through their Lake River using the beautiful football. So they want the possession aspect of the game. Same thing applies to the Blue Co. The possession aspect of the game. And after Roman Abramovich, Chelsea for more of you want to PAP. And see PAP there you need a prolific wingers. They can take on fullbacks to create that chances. And nowhere Chelsea for wingers now we Steve William Fima. Omo making na your more sporty spaces to rely on quick transitional game. Ghana chomo. See, definitely over Chelsea from their perspective doing critical analysis on the situation. You need player bit ma taking on players. And Rafael one of those guys are taking on players any idea. Say mean taking on a player to create space to create chance any idea. But there comes into the attitude and all that. But you see, the Biamekasa says Subai meaning say Subai nature a nature. Me obi and Subai say be meaning or adapted that Subai na no woman.
Yeah.
If say Subai no a nature won't mean nature. But if say a nature you can.
Yeah.
But me would say obi attitude or the free ni onkra brim. We have learned a lot about theory, behavioral theories. That's still I believe in say Subai a nature, not nature. Okay. Mark, me matana. I'm for you, madam. Matana, but there are a lot of smokers, a lot of but money be that.
Yeah, that one day.
That's me nature. That's me
that one day.
Into be a because he influence in the ni sume ano obi na influence that take sana besa me yentine ma minko.
Yeah.
So if I say the attitude of Rafael Leonana who complaining about so on your hard working about nature you cannot change. But then again, the report about say Xabi Alonso a proper profiling and sees Rafael Leo as one of those guys that will be kind of set up and it will be good. So manager from the perspective on my analysis now, they are scouting players. They do proper and vivid analysis. Take into consideration the negative aspect of the game. Take into consideration the positive aspect of the game. And then again, take into consideration on tactical approach. Where the positive, able oversee the negative aspects. Then it is good to go. Because most players be negative. But approach a bit more the fair player and the negative crying.
Yeah, sure.
Because and he didn't go back Basa for center back now. Me I just say Gerard Martin with the negatives.
Yeah.
But that put not fitting to the sense a negative because the career how can we be from
obedience were exceptional
center back. It says about also from the perspective sees it. Sorry, me approach a bit more suit man a negative no cry can hard work then he is good to go.
Okay.
But me for me Rafael is going to be a proper addition to this Chelsea setup. Okay. One, because of he being a prolific winger, can take on players, and again the personality and taking inside the bosses of what Premier League as a league needs from a player. That's the physicality aspect. So me for me, almost starter for me, but he can be a proper squad depth.
Okay.
Because in the Morgan Rogers, but almost a left wing forward. Not an attacking player. And Rafael Leo too is a left wing forward. So in a say Morgan Rogers, one say Rafael Leão check proper squad depth now.
I think say profile ni a bit similar.
Sanity.
Yeah.
To win one we honum, win. So I think say the usually play be go to be a mark or negatives.
Or play beyond negatives.
Play beyond negatives. Sometimes a bit the door so to the stage say untimi an come.
Yeah.
But I think Rafael you have negative.
Yeah.
Hardware and again or inconsistent. Ultimate consistent perform for whole season da.
Yeah.
Season ultimate chimney. Ultimate papa half na kana mugu kwa.
Yeah.
That's one key two negatives I see from Rafael. But aside that, on a bad player.
Okay.
Or a good player and also was one zero. Mark Oya there was zero you win him. And
yeah, still see it anymore.
San on so the on the necessary. But then I'm for kind of best on seven. I think that one, the reason why I'll vow for Chelsea to go in for Rafael will be proper squad depth, the personality, and how experienced he is.
Okay.
Because I bought for AC Milan, because AC Milan need that pinnacle of AC Milan in 2007.
Yeah.
But again, it's a big club. Italy. We bought when you tasted with the UEFA Champions League. We World Cup. We bought match many games. Nations League in Euros and all that. So I think they're a good player, being a good addition for the Chelsea team going for their project.
Okay, so a good player being a good addition for the Chelsea project. You didn't come on far. That's Morgan Rogers. Weekends that Chelsea signed for £117 million.
Yeah.
There are speculations, there are conversations around the whole thing. Say, this guy is too expensive.
Yeah.
In Semi. What do you think? Do you think Chelsea pricing no overdo here? And I say to you, current market now, it deserves over Morgan Rogers for £117 million. And what will Morgan Rogers now all buy into Chelsea about offer? Let's make it simple and
simple. Okay. Mark, me have many agreement about transfer fee.
Yeah.
Because playboy needs every sir. Selling club. We see the be this abro for near casa.
Yeah.
Then again, you cannot do anything about it. How this modernized game now, you cannot do anything about it. Because first, the Ronaldinho club motor is 38 million euros.
Yeah, around that range.
Tinati and Ronaldinho, our hand gave it on the base. 500 million.
Yeah, that range you want to.
But you see, how not that situation around football, and yes, and any place no club brand on privately. As an about clubs and ever brand them. Because in a player now, the social media people posting the clips of honor, selling him globally without even the team's involvement. Into the image, not putting the image in the baby.
Yeah, at the top.
And some club no class out one so, and some the performance now there about so. But unlike that olden days now, Ronaldinho era no. Omo no Thomas, omo the ball so many that image no money. It takes only Beckham and then say you Beckham how near tono. It turn broke because we are branded no to a certain stage. Say club never betona. All expect just the performance, but the selling of jerseys.
Yeah, and the merchandise.
Sanity. In Sana name Mutianete, to which Maka and we are right. Morgan Rogers' performance in 117. A lot of in Drew down and something at the cotton, plays ball Mundruza. But that's how football evolve ever have it true. You cannot do anything about it. So I signed with Toby because Undruza fin Chelsea for our price. But then again, Busan say Morgan Rogers ba. No be impact what the team we so. No be give for Champions League now. You ever go back to that conversation of the price now?
No. I remember Guardiola Casim say the price of the player is not the fault of the player.
Yeah.
It's because of the market. And when the player comes in, the player starts performing, everyone is going to forget about the price.
Sanity.
Because Madrid to Jude, a full package of 133 million.
And they can be
because of massive
performance. Cool. Into now, the reason why I just for talk Morgan Rogers and I was say you don't come against not about the fee. Me fee am pese me don't come bill because you're selling club or contract with the club and club also your margins on beton and I so open. Ti don't be can obeti betu never call. But you see you see come a course and the reason why Morgan Rogers just for signing them 2 people. Igbali and Isabel Alonso. You see boy in the I'm convinced about joining Chelsea.
Okay.
Because of the Chelsea for a more European football this season.
Like it's reasonable to hear that say guy or more European football so hence maybe he might contemplate on coming to Chelsea or not coming to Chelsea because already our Aston Villa qualify for Champions League. Now our fit team are qualify for Champions League. About team are on Europe next season now as a player.
You understand?
But
not so pay Arsenal. And Paris Saint-Germain mubako. Manana boy in the ope. But you see Igbali friend. Okachira say when you pay face so you player or give out a good performance season under review. Now obe person call European competition. No atone who ye.
Yeah.
Chelsea form facade name man. But Igbali promising say a new project with an emerging astute coach in Xabi Alonso who can bet on. Say in terms of developing players, I don't call a certain pinnacle no Xabi Alonso. Because uncle example Xabi Alonso the man in a certain place or buying for Liverpool. And even Real Madrid. Until you a young player like Morgan Rogers, you can trust and hand a future in the hands of Xabi Alonso. So be developing Edward a certain pinnacle. And even the team as a whole. And also catch and say next season we go Europe nibi. So if say it is about Europe and I'll have a worried about her. No. Factual my season we pay next season we go because they trust in Xabi Alonso. And the boy from the perspective town must there be. Xabi Alonso say now can they right. Because probably be that or much experience as a coach or by any who don't buy no for Liverpool say and again developing youth players. And making a certain players go to the next pinnacle of their football. Boy accepted that. And after Igibali talking to him, Xabi Alonso is also friend of Fonso. The main reason why it's our opening meeting. Who's already know Morgan Rogers and Kopama and Anfosi.
They are friends.
The famous code celebration.
Morgan celebration, but those times, as no more championship team together. And now City Academy. If I'm being right, City Academy. But
you stand to be corrected.
I stand to be corrected though. Around that name. But now Morgan Ishe goes. When into the moment that Kopama sees you that celebration at Chelsea, and Morgan can't say no problem. You can use it.
So me now for see. I see someone as I was catching and say, "Minimum so attacking creative player, and I bought more was Aston Villa, but a person bought as a left wing forward. Oh, Alex Biner, how I know about the ball was playing.
Alex Biner as a winger, as a left winger.
Invented occupy that house
space, because always they wanted the box midfield.
Sani is Xabi Alonso catching Morgan Rogers. Sani ban on the bay. So in terms of the creativity aspect and the strength, still now or bottom there, but obey that.
So if I'm being right, the only winger or best stretcher from wide will be Estevao.
Sanity. Now, you see, after talking to him, one of the main factors Chelsea was convinced enough to submit that 117 million euros. Nana Aston Villa for the money and say, this boy take the boss of a Premier League player and a personality for a big club like Chelsea. One, a physicality. Almost boy, physical enough to compete in every match for Chelsea. And then again, versatility. What's the boy the better about a central midfielder? He can play as an attacking midfielder. He can play as a center forward, as a right wing forward, as a left wing forward. Versatility. So you say after talking to him in community now, I'm not telling us no critical analysis with their sporting directors. These two factors now say that boy need good. They submit for him. And again, you don't have to be a horse before you can be a jockey. Jockey, no. You can say me dana me ho horse and sana me tima be suya se me chi osom na ngazam. Nan de bien about proving experience de ben de tactically you need to fit to the setup and imagine the in the team personality, then you are good to go. So I think say you can have that conversation about the fee, have that conversation about everything that you have to have. But I think say Morgan Rogers a proper squad player for team franchise going next season.
Okay, that's nice. So quick one. Do you think Barca should keep Ferran Torres after the winning?
Yes, man say now only me GH, but yes, he should.
Whoa, make you about bro.
Is why?
Whoa, Ferran Torres me.
You see again, Mark.
Hey, one thing about Ferran Torres is the most confusing player we see. Only so yeah, the only so yeah there. Only so sit on the TV I say.
You see, Mark. Me no nya be address abasa from here. a proven center forward. And when someone and nine Julián Álvarez will come to Kwano. A frustrating man for media, not so church and same be because you proving or that boss to step up for team and all that we need that.
The World Cup program
when is about to war.
I'll try.
Or that player and I pass for him and a game about and many tactical approach from Pep to Diego Simeone of it. So a that player or the versatility, baby, you need this kind of player.
Yeah.
But then again, after him, you need to get a backup who understand to be a squad player. And you play better, but as a cotome.
That one, the Ferrandes on what you do.
What you do? And Oba, Anya, season we are 15 goals amount.
Oh, that one there.
And we are better natural. And again, wait my boss a left wing forward, as a right wing forward, as a center forward. What do you expect anything from him? The Julián Álvarez bomb message you want to persuade. But the man trans said the hand that has to compare the remono. No man have a ball.
Yeah.
Because my how can answer me? Your match is born my last your influence, ma'am. What me ballo will be a gain them. I'm not game, eh? I tell about more the underrated Ferran Torres and no Panama canal disagree, say, boy, no. Go and do him say, Oman tenor, obviously 2.
Yeah.
But Obama or Brahman other for Western, ever giving him more.
Well, she's able to create species.
Oh, then it's okay. No, and again, or that instinct, I would bring me species.
Yeah.
Who's a bit of a question you would know, one man or control what children. That attribute and you play Ben will be.
Yeah.
I'm not about scoring.
Yeah.
Now, front was on your striker. From City and from Valencia to City. Yeah, on your striker.
Valencia was a winger, City no a winger.
Winger. And what did that go tag and go tag now? Oh, Hano, any weakness. And you know the fact on chain, my Julián Álvarez may provided that goes in for you. My Lami, I'm a Rafi and go them on my Okoto 80, me to no perspective go from me. One on your squad player.
I am more can't anybody that say one guy was a choice for 170 to play out.
Okay, yes, yeah.
170.
Okay, that's was 15 goals a 0.
Yeah, waha. Come on,
on Friday, no. So the church name, that's the grand who deal.
Akuwa. The headlines is full lines. Until on candy. The last thing we talk about Julián Álvarez after World Cup, no. Do you want Barca to go aggressive on the deal if they really want the player? And I mean, more that feeling they say Álvarez might not return to Atletico Madrid. Not as in say uncle also when you play out, but obesha that question baby just to frustrate them at this point.
But I see, me say Barca for can talk with. See my friend Atletico Madrid in a certain way they'll be convinced enough than to go aggressive and all this kind of method that we use to frustrate the team to sell. Atletico for my squad team. My sure more deals, but my squad team. But then again, you cannot keep an unhappy player. It's not about the factor.
Because
maybe and again, also what she baby na ye be na my ability contract.
Oh, no, but what between do work cash. But the thing is, Okoshe baby, now Atletico Madrid for this one is there. It's becoming too frustrating because at the point, okay, well, play any breaching rules, you know. Or the back of cars, or prepare it, in the whole stress. Maybe at some point, so I don't decide what Okoshe baby. Atletico Madrid for the Belgium to say, or they play at the crown when you're happy so about club in the day. Any Barca for interest negotiating and proper feeling man enko.
But this is I'll go overboard for me. They did not take a check. Barca for which man a setting will be good at the end of the day can be agree. But as I go overboard for even the CEO and the president to come publicly and Omokasa before so about
the on Friday in the what they were trying to make listen. Look at the timing of the interview. It was Friday. And on Sunday was the World Cup final. If they wanting to go to Barcelona, and Julián Álvarez say, plans be a mafia because after World Cup, no Álvarez return.
But here I'm also on Bejibusko because the more you're tapping, you know, talking to someone's player without.
Say I know the FC Barcelona one day. I'm not no money. I know more no so no. Omuni mo brand na no mo yo. Yes, I know mo yo. Omuni here player no. Just transfer here, Lacom, it's more of a dirty game. I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Ofi Ayas Abano. Approaching player with training grounds. Now Ayas for near stop on some money. Whoever is that cool guy, you understand? But on also ways and means when
you say a club to club argument as all that over. Yin KKKK.
Club to club agreement, you know. The thing is, only club needs within common on your way to be in. That's a pro. But see, what's your about 10% number? No, you're ready to make us out.
But see, I think so. The first approach now, Basa for fast approach, the deal and a match. Let's go for Buffy.
The use of the media, no?
Yeah, Buffy. The what is Naka Laporta can go to them as someone build a certain friendship. Then again, use that friendship to negotiate.
Some common, no. Some media common, say, but Atletico Madrid fans who approach the wa. Uno mugena be Matthew Moreto. One of using no. Only dirty workers are kwani.
Balance.
I don't dey. Oze ekoti out there.
I want to go to play on onye sporting.
Ekoti out there. Ayi Hoymon dey say.
Hoymon mo dey so betin Zach Monedio.
Asemo. So this has been another episode of Mr. Mafo Sports. Many like let's now see me football come up from World Cup to transfers. Make sure you like, subscribe. Now all the to notification button now. Click all, say drop a content, you'll be the first person to view. We out.